Just a quick disclaimer that I have not watched all of Tiny Toons Adventure, so my opinion might be a little skewed. Hey everyone, I made some garlic breads, but you can call me Ace or Athena. So, let's talk reboots. They're all over the place, we've all seen one, we've all heard of one, but today's video is specifically about two 2020s reboots of Warner Brothers shows that originally ran in the 90s, Tiny Toons and Animaniacs. Here is some basic overviews of the respective series, starting off with Animaniacs as I'm more familiar with it. Animaniacs was a show that ran from 1993 to 1998, getting 5 seasons, and they released a movie, Wacko's Wish, in 1999. The show follows siblings Yakko, Wacko, and Dot Warner, who act as hosts or main characters of the show. And they have an ensemble cast of unforgettable, wacky characters who all get up to their own hijinks in their respective segments. Some of the standouts being Slappy Squirrel and her nephew Skippy, Pinky and the Brain, who eventually got their own spinoff, Rita and Runt, The Good Feathers, and one of my personal favorites, Katie Kaboom. I know she's not popular in the fandom, but God, I love her. And Tiny Toons, which was started in 1990, and it ran for 5 years, ending in 1995, getting 3 seasons and 2 specials. The show has a very large ensemble cast, but there are 2 hosts, or 2 characters who act as hosts, Babs and Buster Bunny, no relation. Put a pin in that detail though. It's gonna come back later and as an important detail. So let's get on to the reboots. Again, starting with Animaniacs. It was in the unforgettable year that was 2020, the first season of the Animaniacs reboot released, followed by 2 more. The third and final season dropped in February of 2023, and the reboot as a whole was fine. The same voice cast returned, which was amazing to see, but the cast of characters was cut to 5. The only returning characters from the original series were Yakko, Wacko, Dot, Pinky, and the Brain. This was the show's downfall. The show stayed as 3 shorts per episode, but with only 4 different segments to go with. They added Starbucks and Cindy, which was just Buttons and Minty, but with an alien who wants to take over the world instead of a well-meaning dog. And The Incredible Gnome in People's Mouths, which was interesting to say the least. It meant that the show was a lot of the same thing. 2 Warner segments with the Pinky and the Brain one in between. Except the rare appearance of Starbucks and Cindy or The Incredible Gnome in People's Mouths. I think each of them got about 2 or 3 segments in the entire reboot. I don't think you can have Animaniacs without the larger cast. This is much more of an ensemble show. The writers also changed the characters for the worst. Yakko, the character, is probably the closest to his original version. He's still the smart-ass older brother we all know and love, but he seems to have kind of anxiety now. I don't fully know how to put that part, but I had a mutual on Instagram who mentioned this to me in passing or as a topic for a specific conversation, but they're no longer in the fandom, so I'm going to keep them anonymous for this particular bit, and I'm not going to go into it any further. And honestly, I don't fully hate the characters I don't hate the changes to his personality because it is so minor. But I can't say the same for the other 2. Wacko as a character was made so fucking stupid. Wacko was in no way the most genius character in the show, but they didn't have to but in the original show, they didn't have every single thing explained to them like they were a small toddler. Feels like the writers of the reboot wanted Wacko to be the younger sibling so badly, but you couldn't do that with the prior lore of them being the middle child. And don't you dare get me started on Season 3, Episode 8. I've already made a post on Tumblr about this, so I won't go over it. But I have it linked in the description, and it's appropriately titled for this particular instance. But no character in that entire reboot was done more dirty than the Princess Angelina Contessa Luisa Francisca Banana Fana Babesco III, or better known as Dot Warner. She was made so annoying. Dot had almost every part of her that made her a fun and entertaining character stripped away. I don't mind all the changes to the main theme, but the one I have the most problems with is Dot's intro line was changed from Dot is cute to Dot has wit, and the other two stayed completely the same. I have a problem with this because they stripped like her entire cute one thing out of the show except for one episode, the cuting episode from season 1, and that honestly just annoys me. They basically made a whole character slapped a pink smeared yellow flower onto her and called her Dot Warner. And the reboot of Dot becomes one of those really annoying kill all men quote-unquote feminists. It was basically her whole character, and obviously I think feminism is important. I am a feminist. But it's poorly executed here. She was a feminist in the original series, don't get me wrong, but she also just had other character traits. The Warner siblings as a whole in the reboot honestly feel way more like co-workers than siblings. They seem to always be mad at each other, or they're making fun of each other, but not affectionately like they did in the original series. There, it was like way more affectionate, and in the reboot, they just seem to not be able to be close to each other physically. Like whenever the scenes where they're like close up, they're always like stretched a bit, and it was just painful to watch because they were such affectionate, loving siblings in the original series. But Pinky and the Brain were okay though. But I'm like 90% fan. I was never the biggest fan of those segments. It just never drew me in, but and I think the main reason that the Animaniacs really failed, in my opinion at least, it was a continuation. That was the downfall of the series. It took place in the same universe, in the same lot, in the same locations, with the exact same characters, but changed badly. And they would hit you over the head so much in the show, especially in the first season, that it was the reboot of the 90s show. And also, Nora is the worst, and Helena should have returned as the CEO. Fight me. On to Tiny Toons. Now, Tiny Toons University dropped in September of 2023, and it changed way more from the original than Animaniacs did. But in this case, it worked. Why, you may ask? It was made its own thing. Tiny Toons University is completely separate from Tiny Toons Adventures, and I think that makes the show work way more. These are two of the main things that the university changed from Adventures, and they did it entirely differently. Firstly, Babs and Buster Bunny are twins rather than, whatever they were in the original series. But yeah, remember how I said put a pin in the no relation bit? Well, here I'm going to go through it, and I like it. Unlike some fans, I love the change. Even when I was a kid, just seeing the cover art of Tiny Toons Adventures, it always looked like Babs and Buster were related in some way. So imagine my reaction when I found out they weren't, and it was, they had some kind of thing going on. It makes me feel weird to think about it, honestly. And another big thing is that the show takes place in one main location, the University, which to me makes the show feel a lot less crowded, as it doesn't focus on all the characters. It only focuses on a small amount, and I think that's a strength of the show. And currently, as of September 10th, 2024, when I'm writing the script, Tiny Toons University has 2 seasons and a spring break special, and I've thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it. The characters and interactions feel so genuine, and the relationships are layered. The relationship I think is the best in the show, to me at least, is the one between Buster and Plucky. Within a singular season, they went from hating each other to be really good friends to being frenemies, and Plucky honestly just steals every scene he's in and is a delight to watch. All the characters in the new Tiny Toons are delightful to watch. But now back to both of them as a whole, but both shows have an updated animation style and redesigns for the characters. In Animaniacs, they have pretty minor changes. The colors are made a lot brighter and more vibrant, and they're changed to have a more cream tone for their faces and feet, and it's a sharper style. Their noses change from little ovals on their face to little triangle-shaped shields, which I personally don't like because I liked it when they would, kind of take their noses off and use it as like a bouncy ball, because that was really cute. And looking at the characters specifically, Wacko I think has the least amount of changes done. Their hat was changed from having a gray inside of like the cat part, and now it's a dark red. Their sweater is completely the same. Yakko's pants were changed from just being baggy in the lower leg to being cuffed. Dot's flower was changed to be 4 petals instead of 5, and the band was changed to a more orange yellow than the pale pink it was in the original series. In the reboot, Yakko and Wacko get small tufts of hair on their heads instead of being completely smooth like they are in the original. And Tiny Toons, the redesigns are way more in your face and very there, or apparent, that's what the word is. Other than just the brighter colors, the outfits have a bit more of a drastic change. Buster in the original series was just in a red turtleneck, and in the reboot it was changed to a red hoodie. As for Babs, she keeps the same yellow top, purple skirt, and purple bows in her ears, but she also gets a magenta jacket. I like to think of it as a feather jacket because I just think it's awesome. Plucky goes from a white tank top to a black t-shirt. Hampton went from overalls in the original series to what I can only describe as a puffer vest, a v-neck long sleeve shirt, and tan pants. And I think out of the main cast of this show, specifically the New University, because I don't remember how much she was in the original show, but she has had the biggest glow up in her reboot design. It still includes the blue bow from the original, but she has an added jacket and accessories like a belt and spiked bracelets. Another show I don't want to fully get into because this script is already so long. Moon did the reboot thing perfectly fine and amazing, and I just love it, is the 2017 DuckTales show. The main thing we can take from all of this is reboots will always work 1,000 times more if it's its own thing rather than a straight up continuation. And that's honestly all I have to say today. But if you want to check out the description for all my other social medias and the Tumblr post I mentioned about my rant about the season 3 episode 8, feel free to check those out. And also feel free to have conversation about this video in the comments below. Just remember, please be respectful. And if you want to see more of my content, consider subscribing if you want. You don't have to though. But that's kinda all I got. Okay, bye!